Hey guys, MikeTheVike here, back for yet another video. This time around we're going to be doing a 2014 year in review commentary. A lot of games came out this year. Out of them, how many were decent, I'm not sure, but I thought I'd cover my thoughts on the year all together, and then maybe talk about the future, 2015, what we have to look forward to, and so on. So firstly, at least in my genre, I think 2014 was really bad in some ways for the games, at least, because there was sort of the early access syndrome, as I like to call it. There were a lot of games that really liked the idea of, oh, we can make a half-baked game, and people will still pay near full price for it. So you had all these games that were getting their cash way too soon, and yeah, basically there were a lot of games that came out that looked like they had a lot of potential, and maybe in like 2 or 3 years, yeah, they'll be pretty darn good, but, you know, playing the dev builds, basically, you know, they're not going to be as good as, obviously, the trailers. But, anyways, because of all these games that were half-cooked, there was quite a lull, and there's still a lull, really, of not as many games to play. And then even if you look past the early access games, there were the AAA titles that came out weren't even that decent either. But just to name a few, in terms of early access games, because there were a couple, I'll just throw a couple at you. 7 Days to Die, Survive, The Forest, The Long Dark, The Dead Linger, The Stomping Land, hey, where'd that go? Miscreated, Nether, and This War of Mine. That's just like one, or like whatever, 8 of like 50 billion other early access games that came out that I didn't bother playing myself, but there's a few. And I don't know, maybe it's really easy to forget about half of these because, you know, they had like a good like start, there was a little bit of hype, and they died down. It's just how it is. Anyways, out of all of these early access games, I thought I'd just say what, in my opinion, were the best ones, because there were a couple decent ones. I don't think there were ones that were truly like polished right out of the gate, but regardless, I'd obviously say I think the best early access game that came out this year was probably Rust. Of course it died down, and of course it's not as interesting anymore, but it will be soon again. Anyways, when it first came out, I'd say December to like, or well, I guess October really, to like February. Those were kind of like the golden age of Rust. It was just a fantastic game, and it wasn't boring. You know, you could just play it forever. For me, at least. Some people didn't like it. I did. A lot of other people did as well. But it died down, and it got laggy, and there were hackers, and it just went south really, really quick. And honestly, I mean, I guess not everyone would agree with me, and you can please feel free to share your thoughts. I mean, that was probably one of the only ones that was really, that I was able to soak a lot of hours into. DayZ standalone, I mean, it's a okay game. The mod was better in my opinion. I think DayZ took the wrong path. They started turning it into a simulator over just a fun video game, and I don't think people play DayZ for the simulator aspect. They played DayZ mod because it was a fun game to play, not because they cared if their feet were sore because their shoes were ruined or something. It got way too simulator-y, and that's a word now. So yeah, I'm not sure the future of DayZ. I still like the game, and it's fun to roleplay in it, but yeah, I don't know what the future of it is, but my hopes are still up, and yeah, that's what 2015's for. Honestly, out of Rust and DayZ, I can't really think of any others that I truly can sit down and play for like a decent amount of time. All the other ones you played for maybe like a couple days or weeks at most, and then you just forgot about them. That's just, at least my how it worked for me. I don't know, maybe it's different for you guys. Again, let me know. Anyways, with all those games out of the way, I thought I'd bring up some games that I have to look forward to in 2015, because recently a couple of games got shown off and we got info on other ones, so I thought I'd let you guys know. Now, since I only did 2 recommended games for 2014, I thought I'd just keep it quite simple to just my top 2 games that will come out in 2015, or at least hopefully will. Of course, could be wrong, but these are the ones that I'm most hyped for, I'd say. There's others, there's honestly quite a few others, but I don't think there's enough information to say, oh my god, yeah, that's gonna be awesome, because, for example, there's that like underwater one, and it looks like The Forest. That's cool, might be great, but it's like The Forest. It could just be a good trailer. Anyways, out of all the other ones and doing a little bit of research, number one I'd say is probably H1Z1, and that's pretty. I know it's the easy one. It's the Candy Bird, if you know what that means, but it's just the one to go to. It's got everything, really. It's fun. It's not trying to be a simulator. There's vehicles, weapons, and in terms of polish, it's got the most out of all the other games. And I think the reason for that is because it's made by like a legitimate company that's made video games before, whereas all these other ones are indie companies just starting up or not doing something like this before. You know, I guess technically Rust was made by the Gary's Mod guy, and I still don't know really what's happened to that, but I don't know, maybe everybody's just following the wrong formula, but H1Z1 maybe is doing it right. I don't know. Apart from that, I'd say Survive the Nights looks to be a really decent game. There's been minimal news on it as of late. I remember I got one of their Kickstarter emails like a month ago or something. So it's still in the works, thank God. And I think that game does also have a lot of potential. Basically, any of the games where they're taking their time on it, I think those games have much more potential than the others that are, you know, they just kind of just spat them out like, boom, Forest, here you go. Might be crap, who cares? Might be missing all aspects of the game other than cutting down trees. Here you can have fun. I don't know. But, yeah, I thought that was just a quick little commentary. I look forward to playing H1Z1 and Survive the Nights. Of course, I didn't bother bringing up the games that are already out. Of course, Rust, in hopefully about a week, will receive a really nice update that it has been needing for quite a while, and I can make an episode on it finally. DayZ, one day, will eventually get an update that will make it fabulous, hopefully. It just needs higher capacity servers and more vehicles, I think, and spawns. But anyways, you know, there's tons of games that just need an update or two and boom, they'd be solid. But one area that I thought I would also mention is mods, because a lot of title games like DayZ, for example, originated as mods and then, you know, developed a community that it was able to create its own game. So I thought I'd talk about some mods this year that were actually pretty decent. However, the majority of them, and this can also apply to the early access games, a lot of them follow the same formula, and that's sort of an issue. So for example, whether it be Arma 3 Epoch, or Breaking Points, or Overpoch, I think is a thing now in Arma 3. The list goes on in terms of these, I think DayZ 2017 or whatever for Arma 3. Anyways, you get the idea. There's a lot of games that seem to follow, or mods rather, follow the same formula. And honestly, I'm just not enjoying this formula where you run around on a massive map, generally Altis, which I despise. And, or is it Altis? Is that the big one or the small one? Anyway, I'm talking about the big one. It's awful. Yeah, that's right. Altis is the big one. Anyways, yeah, a lot of them, the maps are usually too big. There's not enough players. You're still, like, if you cut down the games to their core, you spawn with nothing, or a hatchet, or minimal things. Then you run around finding supplies. You see somebody, you talk to them because you have no gear, and they don't have gear either. Then you find guns, then you shoot people, and then other people find guns, and they shoot other people. Like, the end, you know, there's not much purpose to it, and that kind of bores me. Anyways, mods were interesting, you know, there were a couple, like I said, but none really interested me all that much, sadly, and yeah, I just never got into any of them. It's funny, like, Arma 3 Life, I went to all the ridiculous trouble of applying for that thing, getting in, going through interviews, waiting for days to get whitelisted, and I played it for like an hour, and I was like, it's okay. And there was all the other like mischief that's going on with that game, and I don't need to get into it. It just didn't interest me. I don't know, I just lost interest. And Arma 3 RPG might be alright. I applied for that, and I should do the interview, but I'm lazy. But anyways, you get the idea. Some mods came out, none were really all that interesting to me, so I didn't bother uploading much on them because they just too much running. There is one mod that I think is pretty decent though. I've talked a lot about Arma 3 mods, that's just because that seems to be the game that mods are made on these days. But I thought Battle Royale was a really good mod, and there was a recent map update for it on Wake Island. And yeah, it's a fun game to play. I didn't really record much of it, but I think I should make a video out of it because, well, it deserves it. The map is pretty cool. But again, out of all the other ones, I just haven't gone into them. RPG isn't my style, like the role-playing ones, like Life and RPG. But apart from that, yeah, not too many this year. Yeah, anyways, guys, that was just my quick little commentary on 2014 and 2015. Let me know what your favorite games of 2014 were, or early access games, whatever you want. I mean, I didn't bother bringing up AAA titles because, well, really, honestly, for me, I liked Far Cry 4, and that's about it. Yeah, I didn't play many. Counter-Strike doesn't count. But apart from that, guys, hope you enjoyed the commentary. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.